Hey, good evening, guys. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all doing awesome. If you're watching the replay, and I'm going to say this first because obviously there are going to be more people jumping on the replay than there are going to be jumping on right now, then share it out. Do a hashtag replay. That would be absolutely fantastic. We're going to be chatting with Gem Louise tonight, and we're going to be hearing a little bit about her, what she has been through in terms of getting to where she is today, and we're going to be asking her a few questions to find out what advice she has for everyone who's watching and listening and whoever can relate to what Gem has to say. So Anna, Robson, welcome my beautiful friends. Aga, Peter, welcome. It's great to have you on. I hope you're all doing fantastic. So what I'm going to be doing for the next 60 seconds or so, Jessica, welcome darling. It's great to have you on. What I'm going to be doing for the next 60 seconds is I'm just going to be sharing this out a couple of times. I see Gem is looking to join on. Fantastic, Gem. We're going to get you on in just a moment. What I am going to do is just share this into your group, Gem. So I'm going to share it into there. So everyone who... Namaste, darling. Rebecca, welcome. It's great to have you on. Awesome, guys. We're getting everybody on today. So let me just quickly share this into the group. Give me 60 seconds. Cameron, welcome, my friend. I hope you're doing all right, buddy. So drop me in the comments down below on a scale of 1 to 10 how you are doing today. If you're doing okay, if you're doing good, let me know what you've been up to. It is a Monday. Do you hate Mondays or do you love Mondays? I pretend to like a good old Monday, but there you go. Everyone is also different. So let me just share this in, share it in a group. It's not going to let me do it because there's an emoji, is it? Okay, all right, doesn't matter, but we will get it into this one anyway, and we will share it in there afterwards. So let me just quickly post that. So in literally just a short minute, Alex, welcome, darling. It's great to have you on. In a short second, we are going to be having a chat with Gem. We're going to be chatting to her, and we're going to be hearing what shall I say. Donna, welcome. James, hey, my friend. I hope you're doing good. Simon, welcome, buddy. It's great to have you on. I hate Mondays. What does that say? Oops. Let me have a look there. I hate Mondays, lol, love a Friday. I think that is most people, my friend. I think that's most people. Leroy, 10 for me. I woke up at 5:30 to meditate before work, and then I'm doing great. That's amazing, my friend. I need to take a leaf out of your book because it started to get closer to 8:30 for me waking up, which is not great. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get Gem on. Let's just quickly pop that on there. Approve. Her right now. So get yourselves ready. Get your pen and paper down because we're going to be... going through some awesome stuff. Jim says, last night I had a massive panic attack and smoked some pot and had a system reset. Fair enough, my friend. I love it. If that is what gets you to where you want to be, then absolutely, buddy. Go for it. Melissa, welcome, darling. It's great to have you on. We're just going to be getting Gem on right now. Give us 1 second. You know how Facebook is. The guest declined the live video invitation. Well, that's not good. Give us a second. Sean, welcome, darling. It's great to have you on. Let's just prove that again. Take 2. Let's try this again. Trying to get you on, Gem. Hopefully it's going to be working. Hey, Melissa, it's great to have you on. Christine, welcome, darling. And by the way, everybody, I can see a few people liking the live. Absolutely love it. If you do want to drop a like on there, that would really appreciate it. I hope it to get it out there. If this is going to work. If it's not, then that is going to suck because we're going to have to redo it, but that's fine. It says adding. Is it going to do it? Yes, no? But anyway, I'll give you a little background over Gem as well. She's got a group and she's been really building it and growing it to help to reach many people. So it's really, really awesome. Group's fantastic. It's called Focus and Belief. You'll know the difference because it's got a couple of emojis either side. And if you do want to go and check that out, then feel free to after the live. There we go. Hey, darling, you all right?
Hello, yes I am.
Awesome, that's good. Well, at least we got there in the end. The connection's just struggling. Do you know what I mean? It's trying, it's thinking about it, but it wasn't too sure if it wanted to go there or not. How?
I'm closer up this way, I don't like it.
Yeah? How you feeling today?
I'm okay, how about you?
Yeah, spot on. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good. So I'll give you a little intro, but feel free to fill in the gaps because, you know, just to sort of let people a little bit, get to know you a little bit more. So as I just said, for everyone who's watching, Gem has got her own group. It's absolutely awesome. She's been growing it because she loves to help people. So one of Gem's missions is to help as many people as possible. Obviously, we've all been through tough times. That's a given, I would say, for the vast majority of the population. And Gem's mission is to help people see that they can get out of those, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's an absolutely amazing thing. So if you want to give a little bit more into that, would you like to? Or
Yeah, where do you want me to start exactly?
I'll tell you what, so what we'll do is we'll go straight into the, I'll ask you the first question. So let's just say hello to some of the people on. So obviously got Christine, Terry, welcome, Jade, KD, it's great to have you guys on. So today we're going to be chatting with Jem, and I'm going to asking her a few questions and just sort of getting an idea about who she is and sharing that with you guys so that you can get to know a little bit more about her. Although the screen's gone black. Are you still there?
Yeah, my phone's gone funny. Hang on.
There we go.
There.
All right, awesome.
Oh,
No, I love it. So my first question is what made you want to start helping people? You know, what made you start the group and grow it to where it's getting to now and start to reach out and want to help as many people as possible?
Right. Well, through my darker stages anyway, more with my depression a few months ago, I've always been into motivational speakers and I would go onto YouTube and just try and get answers from them really. I would watch them and I was just so lost at one point. And after watching some of the YouTube videos, I just thought, I would really want to do something like that with where I create something where people could come in and talk to one another without any judgment. Because if you put things on Facebook sometimes, there's a lot of people that criticize what you say and it's just I wanted just to create something with where people could speak freely and openly about the way they were feeling and so people just wouldn't think they were alone.
No, I love that. That's really interesting as well because I think that a lot of people, I'm even going to go as on the sexist side of things to say that there are a lot of men that hide what it is they're truly feeling through fear of being called a wuss or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I find that really interesting. Do you think that there are a lot of people out there who sort of hide what it is they're truly saying unless they can have like an avenue to actually talk about it, you know, a place and an area to talk about it? Do you think it helps that they've got that area that they can do so?
Definitely. I mean, I've seen it myself, and I think you would have seen it within the last 4 months of this group. There's so many more guys that's coming forward now as well, and giving their experiences and opening up with the emotions as well, and being honest with the feelings, and it was just trying to break that stigma down, especially on the men, that it's not a big macho thing anymore, and people can come forward and express how they're feeling. It should be encouraged more. It really should.
No, I agree with you, and I think that a lot of the time when it comes to that stuff, it causes a massive amount of damage. You know, and it's not just to do with just men as a whole, but in relationships and all different kinds of avenues of that. Because if people can't vent the way they feel, if people can't talk about the way they feel, then they just end up squeezing all this emotion inside of them until the point where it explodes, and they end up like really, really putting themselves in a bad position. So we've got some other people. So Emily, Daniel,
I
welcome.
can't see the comments.
Can you not? Maybe if you slide it to I think it's to the left or the right, you might be able to see them pop up. But if there are any questions, I'll let you know. James, welcome.
Oh yes, I can see them
Yeah,
now.
awesome. Aoife, Neil, welcome, my friends. Great to have you on the live. So, what would you say to people who are thinking to get into a certain type of position in life? You know, obviously you've got to this point where you started this group and you started to get out of your comfort zone, you know, especially with the live that we did and the lives you've done in the past and sort of being able to help people. What would you say to people who are getting themselves out there and getting ready to, you know, try something new, try to find their passion and get to where they want to be?
I would definitely say get out your comfort zone, because if it wasn't for me getting out my comfort zone, I wouldn't have got to speak to who my coach is at the moment, Lewis Raymond Taylor. I saw a motivational video of his on YouTube and I got out my comfort zone. I actually sent him an inbox on Facebook. Sorry, it all started from there. And then reaching out to people again, getting out my comfort zones, and it just progressed from there really. If you find, I think everybody knows deep down what the passions are in life and where they want to go in life and what they want to achieve. But it's just having that self-belief. And if you have the right people around you and getting out of comfort zones and going for it, you can achieve so much in such a short space of time as well.
I love that. And would you say in the beginning when you started reaching out to people and sort of venturing out into chatting with new people and opening up conversations, would you say that there was a bit of nerves when you first did that?
Definitely, yeah. But it's a good thing as well, because it kind of gives you that kind of boost and adrenaline. And you think, right, that's it, I'm going to go for it. And then when you do, it's like yourself. I mean, we've only been speaking, I think it's 2 weeks now.
If that.
And that was an inbox on Facebook as well. I mean, I didn't know you before then. And everything progresses. It just takes that little step. But once you do it, you know, it opens up a whole new world for you.
Absolutely, and I love that, and that's actually one of the reasons why, and this is just from a selfish point, one of the reasons why I'm always open-minded to people messaging and having people come in and drop a message in, because you never know who you're going to meet. You know, you might blow someone off, or you might ignore somebody, or, you know, go in on somebody who's messaged you, but you actually find out that when you get to know that person, and when you understand where they're coming from, you gather more information, that you end up getting, build a much bigger and better picture, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So there's just a few more people dropping on, which is amazing. Jody, Charlotte, welcome. And Mark, hi, buddy. It's great to have you on. Actually, I know you were on last time. Feel free to contribute and drop some messages down, my friend. It's absolutely fantastic to have you back. No, I love those answers, Jem. And the next question I sort of want to take the conversation down is, what are 3 things you would recommend for people to do in order to get started? So of course, like you took that initiative to message people and go into the inbox, but are there any things in the beginning where you finally sat there and thought to yourself, you know what, like, it's about time, you know, I don't know, I did something, or I really fancy doing this, and I can see that there's either a problem or something I want to do in life, and then I want to go ahead and do it? What were 3 bits of advice you'd give to people who are looking to do that?
Well, my main one would be get rid of the fear, because I had such fear over everything, and it just controlled everything in my life. If there's something deep down you really want to do, you do reach a point, though. I do believe everybody reaches a point where they just think, I've got to go for it. And it goes on from there. Just be true to yourself. And I do believe we all have our own path we need to follow. And it's all mapped out for us. It's just we have to have that self-belief to go for it. But that's just my own views. Get rid of the fear. That's the main one to me. And reach out to people as well. Find people who, like on Facebook is so good for things like that. I'll go to people's bios on Facebook and find out what the niche is. And if I thought they were similar, then I would reach out to them and ask for people who's experienced and know what they're doing, just to get some help.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, I've just realized that was a very similar question to the one I asked you previously. And I loved, so with the two you've sort of put out there already is fear and get out your comfort zone, which is awesome, by the way. That's a massive one, because there are so many people that are not doing any of that, you know, looking at their fear and going beyond it. They hit the fear, they feel the fear, and they stay there. You know, they don't want to take that next step. They don't want to take the next move. And one thing I actually want to add on to that as well is, for the most of the people who are watching, when you are afraid of doing things and you're afraid of going ahead and pursuing something and going ahead and you know, dropping a message or going to a local get together or a local gathering, when you're afraid of doing that, go and do it anyway. Because even if you get to the, you know, you walk into the door and 5 minutes in, you think, you know, this isn't for me, I don't feel this, you know, these people aren't for me, and you walk out, that's fine. Because you've made those steps and you've made that ability to go and progress and at least give it a try. You know, and then the next time you do it, it'll go. And then the next time and the next time. And even if it's the 5th time, you end up being surrounded by the people who you were looking for in the first place. So fear is a huge one. If you're afraid of doing things, then just face the reality that there is a time that it's coming up in the future where you're not going to be here anymore. So why the hell wait, right? Why
the hell wait? Baby steps as well. Not to be too hard on yourself as well. It's just make that small step. And that fear doesn't fully go, but as you say, you work on it and you go for it anyway. And I mean, I still get fear with things. And before I go to speak to people, I just think, you know, dare I, daren't I? And you push yourself, but the more you do it, it does get easier.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to give you a massive compliment right here, and this is a really good example for all the people watching. That since we've been having our conversation, I found out that you're an awesome woman who's got amazing viewpoints, a great, you know, story and stuff to share and things like that. And if you hadn't have messaged me, we would never have made this connection. So it's super important, especially for everybody watching. Like, if you've got someone you want to reach out, if you've got someone you want to speak to, or someone you want to reach out to, just go and do it. The worst they can do.
Definitely.
The worst they can do, right, is tell you to F off. And if that's the case, you know for a fact that you're not supposed to be around that kind of person, because that's just insane, right? So
that's exactly it, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, if you've got that fear, go ahead and do it, because all it takes is that message, you know, introduce yourself. And can I just say as well, and this is no disrespect to when I'm watching, but don't put a wave and don't just say like, hey, just open up with something. You know, like Jem said, go down the wall, have a look at who they are, you know, have a look at what it is they do. And I've been guilty of doing this as well, you know. Go ahead and, you know, get a rough gist or an idea of what they're interested in, and then go full in that. You know, and that's exactly it. So you see, if somebody like, I don't know, was watching one of my videos and saw one of my Star Wars tattoos and then sent me a message saying, "Oh, have you seen the new Star Wars movie? What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to throw everything out the window and go ahead and message them back." So just there's
Yeah.
always ways of opening stuff. So let's just have a look at some of the beautiful people who we've got on. Whoops. Let's have a look here. Pritesh, welcome, brother. It's great to have you on. Jody, hey, darling. Diane, Melissa. I'm good friends with Gemma, and her group has made her come out of her shell so much. She has definitely come so far. Love that. That's a beautiful compliment from Melissa. Thank you so much. Kim, hey, darling.
Thank you, Melissa.
Mark, I think I've gone up to a 7 since Saturday. That's fantastic, my friend. Would you mind popping down below?
Wow, it was a 5 the other day. He's done so well, Mark, mine lately.
Yeah.
He's really getting out of his comfort zone and he's seeing the benefits from it as well.
I love this, and there's nothing better than real life proof. Do you know what I mean? Please, Mark, if you can pop down below what got you from that 5 or wherever it was up to a 7, then please do. That'd be amazing.
It was a really big leap.
Love it. Jody, welcome, darling. It's good to have you on. Rebecca, everyone has fear of certain things, like I'd never jump out of a plane. I love that. However, Rebecca, and me and Rebecca chat on a very daily basis. We're very, very close. You know, if the plane was burning, I'm pretty sure you'd want to jump out, right? You might need a new, pair of trousers on the way down, but you still jump out. No, but I would, that wouldn't be my first thing to do is want to jump out of a plane. Brian, welcome. Shelley, Jody, Edna, welcome, darling. Paul says, Paul had a cyst removed from his forehead last Wednesday, and I have braces tomorrow. I'm having stitches taken out. Love it, buddy. That's good. I mean, if it makes you feel better, then that's awesome. I'm really pleased to hear it. Melissa, you're welcome. It's all good, positively, nothing holding. Absolutely. Love it. And Julie, welcome, darling. That's all caught up. So I love that. And tell people a little bit more about your group, because I personally have seen it growing very nicely over the past couple of days. Is that people sort of from your area? Is it just people coming and joining? Are people sort of banding together? What is it that you've been doing with the group?
It started off just local people from Crook, and it just kind of snowballed. Again, I would look for people on Facebook, and with doing like with my coaching course, there's quite a lot of coaches on Facebook, and then when it comes up mutual friends, again, I'll look for the bio and see if there's anybody who would be interested or with like similar, as I say, you look up on people and you read a little bit to find out if there's going to be a connection there. And then I just send a request and they either join or they don't, but 9 times out of 10 they join. And there's a guy called Andy Horner, and he's known as Anxious Andy on Facebook. He's a public figure.
Okay.
And I got talking to him, and he put it within his group, and he's got a huge following. And when he put the group on advertised there, all of a sudden there was just so many people coming in, because obviously he's with mental health, his group, and that's what it's about. So people who are experiencing mental health then got in touch, and it just snowballed from there, and it's from people all over the world now who's in the group. It's crazy.
I love that. And one thing I want to sort of point out to everyone watching right there, you might think, what's the point in sharing that? Well, the point again is it's cementing and it's building on and it's increasing that understanding of, if you ask the question, if you just go ahead, you engage, you put yourself out there, you get yourself out to the world, anything can happen. And here's where I'm going to sort of plug in the law of attraction. You know what I mean? People are going to be clicking on like, Jesus Christ, he's coming here with the magic again. Like with the law of attraction is based on what you want. If you can't just sit back and stick your feet up, have a coffee or a whiskey or whatever, and just expect it to magically appear. It's to do with having that desire, focusing on it, having a positive, exciting thought about it, and consistently. This is why they say you've got to be obsessed. If you want it to come quick and you want to really make it happen, you've got to be absolutely disgustingly consistent by doing it every single day and focusing and messaging and getting yourself out there. So it just cements the fact.
Yeah.
If you do that, good things can happen. So that, I think, is absolutely fantastic. And the next thing that I wanted to ask you, and I'm going to sort of link into why this is important, is where do you see yourself in 3 years' time?
In 3 years? I've been asked that question before.
That's a good question.
Hopefully, I would love to do. Yes, it is. I would really, really love to do like coaching within mental health, but online. Because you see so many people who do that online, and so many people are online these days, and yeah, definitely coaching within mental health because I think it covers so many varieties of different things as well as like disorders, depression, anxiety. There's loads of different avenues you can go down, so there's a wide range of people you can help.
Yeah, I love that.
But if I knew about groups like this about 5 years ago, I would have already been in a much better place. So that's why I'm so passionate about
Mm.
it.
That's super interesting because I think that a lot of people who feel hopeless, and let's face it, it happens. You know, I think that many people have been there at certain points in their life. You know, they look at life and they think, you know, Jesus, like there's got to be something out there better than where I'm at right now, right? For those people who feel
Yeah,
hopeless and they don't know where to start with community. You know, start with being around people. And that's one thing I actually wanted to ask you a couple of questions ago. Is you said that a lot of the people in your local area have joined this group. Do you think that where you are based and where you're from, that there's a really good set of community and people band together and people are really interested in, you know, listening and helping each other and that kind of thing?
definitely. Yeah. Yeah, and it's such a good thing. I think because there hasn't been many groups like around my local area where you have groups like this, people then feel a bit more comfortable, especially being a private group as well, because everything's kept confidential, because obviously
Mm.
people are discussing really sensitive subjects. Um, I think once they get out there and they see what the group can do, it does make them feel a bit more comfortable with opening up and communicating with one another. And the interaction now has just absolutely
Yeah.
exploded. And you can see how people are benefiting because even people a few months ago who was really, really low are also commenting, on other people's messages and helping them out as
Mm.
well.
And this
So it's like you say a community now more than just a group.
And this is the thing, and actually, I was talking, so I did a live, not to sort of plug myself in, but I did a live last week with Naomi, and we were talking about communities and things like that, and it's insane how good it can be and how amazing it can be when you have a community of people, because people
Definitely.
can disagree with me, and please do, you know, maybe it's just my area, but where I'm from in this kind of village, nobody really says anything to anybody. You know, you don't really know too much about, or not to know anything about people, but you don't really speak to anybody over there, and probably that's my own fault. You know, that I'm not, I'll take full responsibility of that, and I think probably a lot of people will. But a lot of times, the community around this area here, it's not as vibrant as it might be in other places. You know, you might know who lives 5 doors down the road, which I think is amazing. You know, you might be able to live in an area where you stick a table up in summer and you've got 20, 25 people having a barbecue out on the street. You know, I think that's amazing. And I think that a lot more people should get up and go and knock on next door. You know, go and say, hey, how you doing? Do you fancy going for a drink? Or if you know, you're a couple and a couple, you go and have a couple's date or whatever, and that kind of thing. And just getting to know people, because it comes full circle back around to what we said. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what opportunities are going to come from it. And if you don't ask the question, how can you ever find out if it's going to be beneficial or not? So I think that that's amazing that your group has got to where it is right now. So let's just have a look here. We've got some beautiful people coming back on. Shannon, welcome, darling. If you're still on. Jody, great video, Gemma, is awesome. She absolutely does, Jody. I fully agree with you. Rebecca, thank you for the flames. Managed to step out of my comfort zone with some pushing by Gem. Once I did, it felt amazing. That's awesome, Mark. And listen, like, this is the thing. It doesn't matter where you are in life. You know, this is the bullshit stigma that you know, around men and stuff like that. That, oh, you know, don't try something new, or, oh, you know, if you can't do this, then you're not a man, and all this other bullshit that's spewed out everywhere. You know, we've all got to start somewhere. We've all got to do something at one point in life to get to where we want to be. You know, just like I've did my first live video years ago, and if I hadn't have done it, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know, like, it's all about taking that initial step to go ahead and get to where
Yeah.
you want to be. You know, like for people that want to get a partner, if you don't go and ask somebody if they want to drink, or if you don't go and say hello to somebody, if you don't go and, you know, actually interact, then how can you ever expect to, you know, be together and start a, you know, well, it's a bit extreme.
I'd say opportunities missed. So yeah, you've got to get out there,
And this
definitely.
is the thing, like, there's such a fear, and not to sort of, this wasn't to associate it with you, Mark, but just on a general note, there's such a fear around doing new things. You know, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? You know, you make a fool out of yourself. Whoopsie. Even if the worst thing that can happen is you make a fool out of yourself, who cares? You know, the only thing that would make a fool is somebody else's opinion. And let's face it, the only thing that matters is your own. So if you actually took the steps to get to where you want to be, you took the steps to start something, I think that's awesome. And anybody who does that deserves a massive amount of respect, even if people are taking the piss out of you, because I had that a lot. And not, again, it's all about perspective, and we can look from past experience. I had loads of people taking a piss out of me, and then a few months down the line, I had loads of people messaging me like, "Oh, bro, what do you do to train your legs? Oh, what do you do to train your chest?" And I'm like, have I just traveled in a new dimension or something? Like, these are the same people who were taking the piss out of me months ago. So the advice for that is just go for it. Absolutely go for it.
Yeah.
Alicia, Dale, thank you so much for that, my friend. Theo, welcome, my friend. Ollie, Josie, Jem, have you ever been hospitalized? That's a very interesting question. I'll let you answer that in just a moment. Let me just get through. Sarah, Abigail, welcome. Adam, welcome, my friend. It's great to have you on. Max, James, Tracy, it's great to have all you guys on. So that was a very interesting comment. I am interested to see where that came from, if you want to pop that down in the comments. But yeah, do you want to answer that? Was that?
No, I've never been hospitalized, no.
Okay. That's, if you want to elaborate on the reason for that comment, then pop it.
I was going to say, if ask more, then I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to pop that down there, guys, that's awesome. And this next question is sort of like, it's going to give you the stage, and you're going to be able to literally give the best advice you want to give. Is, what message do you want to share with people today? And it can be absolutely anything you want to share. Then feel free to share that right now.
With my experience for the last few months is never doubt yourself. You're not alone if you're in a dark place. There's always somebody there to talk to. Believe in yourself. The last 4 months, I've learned that self-belief is a huge thing. I'm only just learning myself now, but if it wasn't for somebody helping me with my self-growth, then I wouldn't be doing these things. But you've got to believe that you can do it and find the passion, like you said, in something that you want to do. If there's something you really, really want to do, got your heart set in it, you've got to go for it.
I love that.
And when it comes to mental health as well, like within the group, never suffer in silence, because it's the worst thing you can do. I used to be such a bottler with my emotions, and the more you bottle things up, the more that everything just like gets into your head, and then you can just take the littlest thing and you crack. So please, if ever you feel like nobody's listening, don't believe that. There's always somebody there. There's help out there, definitely. You're not alone, ever.
Absolutely. I love that. And I will, how I always get excited to add my little 2 cents into the mix. So one thing I also want to mention to everyone who's watching is always try to figure it out yourself first. And this is because I have my own mental health group, and I'm exposed to a lot of beautiful people who suffer from mental health. Always try to figure yourself out first. There'll be a lot of people who sort of suggest things and tell you to do this and do that. Try to figure yourself out before you do anything, because sometimes it can be solved with a adjustment of your mind. The biggest question I ask, this is the thing, the biggest question I ask all people who say, well, I've got this, I've got to go do this, is, have you looked at all different perspectives? Have you asked somebody else for a different perspective? Have you asked somebody else for their opinion? And opinions are what you make of them. It's information. Whenever somebody gives you an opinion, don't take it to heart. There are people who will call me a dickhead. There are people who are probably on here thinking like, what a tosser. And that's fine. But opinions are always information, and you do with that as you choose. For me, it's good information. Maybe I might watch the live back again and say, am I a bit of a dickhead? Or maybe I'll take that and think like, that's just somebody who doesn't like me. So when it comes to opinions, just take it with a pinch of salt, let it go in the ear, analyze it a little bit, and then do what it is you've got to do with it, and fuck it off if you have to. But always look at yourself, always analyze yourself. And if you're unhappy, ask yourself why. Because there is a certain part of me that's very grateful that I was able to figure myself out at such a young age. When I was a teenager, I was depressed. I hated where I was at. I hated the position in life I was in. I hated the fact that people were walking all over me, taking a piss at me, all this other kind of stuff. I was in a dark place. But it took me to shift my perspective. It took me to shift the way I thought about myself in order for me to get to where I am. So just remember that there is always an answer out there for you. There is always information out there that can help you to get to where you want to be. And of course, some of it isn't going to help you, some of it will. Some of this that I talk about and that Jem talks about isn't going to resonate with you. Again, totally fine. It is what you make of it, but you've got to understand that don't just let somebody dictate to you what you may or may not go through. Dictate it to yourself. So that's my little bit on the end there.
Definitely, yeah.
Now, we've been talking about the group quite a lot, Gem, and there's a few comments that I'm going to get through in just a moment. What is your group? Because one thing that I want to do is link it down below, and we'll obviously, if everybody wants to, is it okay if people follow you or friend request you? Is that all right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? Awesome. So
Yeah, no problem.
if anybody wants to check Gem out, please do go and send her a friend request. I'm sure she will show you the group. It's an awesome group, growing very quickly. If you want to go and join the group and take part, feel free to. Even if you're not going through any tough times or anything like that, sometimes hearing a different perspective or hearing a different story can shine a whole new light on your journey. I know for a fact that for the past 6-7 months that I've been doing this, Jesus, have I had some whole new perspective shifts just from hearing people's stories and hearing what people have been through. So by all means, definitely bear that in mind.
If there's people that's watching this live, they might know of somebody who would benefit from the group. So it's worth even just mentioning it to them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Again, full circle again. We go right back to the beginning. You suggesting, a group to some person might literally absolutely change their life. And it might sound dramatic, but that's literally how life works. And for anybody who who doesn't believe that, then you've clearly not seen some of the big successful people. It can literally be as dramatic as a question, a message, bumping into somebody. It can literally be that. You might bump into somebody, you drop something, you say, I'm sorry, you're marrying them 6 years later. It can be that dramatic. So always have an open mind. Always believe that you can get what you want. And absolutely. So let's just get through. There's a few comments that we've missed just here. Let's go back up. Jody, defo self-belief for me. I've done that song on Facebook because of the message I wanted. And I love that. Just a little shout out to Jody. Put a song up of her singing, which I thought was beautiful. That was awesome, Jody. And definitely you coming out your comfort zone. Love it. Thank you guys for this. Appreciate it. It's my friend. It's our pleasure. Our pleasure. I had an opportunity to help a stranger out on a trolley station. She came up to me and asked if she can talk about what's going on in her life. It was my first time ever to take the time for somebody else and listen to them. I'm glad I did because I made her day a lot. That's awesome. I love that. And that's amazing. Just listening to somebody, Leroy, can be the biggest thing ever. Beautiful, my friend. Mark says, what may seem little to somebody can be massive to go. My comfort zone was not going out in a big social setting. That's all. And that's it. And that's it. And Mark, that's the beauty of it as well, you see, because if you end up going out and quite frankly, I'm not one for pubs as well. I don't know if that was relatable at all, but I'm not really one for pubs and big settings, but that can be it. All you have to do is go out and I don't know, go and have a drink or go down to your local park or whatever, wherever people are, wherever people are hanging out these days and just chat with people. And it can be that insane, it really can. Frankie says, cheers. And thank you for the comment, friend. Thank you. Laura, welcome. Valerie Santos, thank you for the share. Michael's joined. Welcome, Michael. We're about to wrap up, but if you want to watch the replay, please feel free to. So on a final note from me, if you want to, stick hashtag live in there or hashtag replay, please feel free to. That's awesome. Share it out to your friends and family if you enjoyed what you heard tonight. It's been a pleasure to have all of you on. Thank you for the engagement as well, guys. Absolutely love the comments, you guys jumping on, listen to what we have to say. I think is brilliant. So for myself, thank you. And Gemma, would you like to finish off on anything?
Just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I really do appreciate it. And yeah, it's all about stepping outside of comfort zone, guys. So that's the best thing to do.
Love it. So don't forget that Gem's group is available. It's Focus and Belief. We will pop a link down in the comments very, very soon, right after the live. And feel free to friend request her, message her, and all of that good stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.
Thank you. Bye.